Hi everyone, hello, how are you doing? I hope you are doing good. So welcome to another video of chapter 9, control and coordination. In the previous video, we talked about the sensory receptor eye, the structure, the parts of the eye and what are the functions of those different parts of the eye. Now in this video, we will be talking about another important sensory receptor, which is ear. So let's begin. So this is the structure of the ear as you can see in the diagram. Okay, so what are we going to do? Similarly, just like we have discussed in the eye, so structure, what are the different parts, main parts of the eye and its function. In the similar manner, we are going to learn about the some of the important parts of the ear and its function. Okay, so let's begin. So as we see in the diagram, you can see the ear is divided into three major regions. Okay, the outer region. Just give me a moment. The outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. Okay. Just, okay. Just give me a second. So as you see, the region of the ear, you can see three regions: outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear. Okay. So we begin with discussing the outer ear first. Yes. So the external part of the ear that you see over here, this organ outside, this is known as the pinna. Okay, it is made up of cartilage. Yes, we studied about the different types of connective tissue in 11th standard. So one of the types of the connective tissue is also cartilage and also bone. So cartilage is more or less like a soft bone. Okay, and then you have the inner part which is divided into three sections. What are the three sections? The outer ear over here, the middle ear, and the inner ear. Okay, now beginning with the outer ear, this entry. Okay, the entry point of the sound waves, the hole that you see over here, this is known as the concha. Obviously, this is the earlobe. Okay, these are the regions of the ear, antihelix and triangular fossa over here. This is known as the scapa, and this is known as the helix. You need not memorize these. You just need to know that a ear is divided into outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear. The outermost, this part is known as the pinna. Okay, now the sound waves will travel inside, and it will travel inside all the way over here, and it will move to all these from all these structures, and then it will pass it will be passed on to the cochlear nerve, and the cochlear nerve will send it to the brain. This we are going to see in detail. So the outer ear will contain the auditory canal. So this canal which you see over here, okay, this is the auditory canal, ear canal, or you can also call it as external acoustic meatus. Okay, this is obviously made up of cartilage. Okay, then this channel facilitates the travel of the sound waves to the tympanic membrane. You see the tympanic membrane over here inside your ear, okay, which is also known as the eardrum. So this eardrum, this membrane divides the outer ear and the middle ear. So it acts as a separation point. It's the point where over here the outer ear starts, and from after the tympanic membrane, the middle ear starts. Okay, so it is known as a tympanic membrane, or also it is known as the eardrum. Then moving to the middle ear. So middle ear, you see all these structures, malleus, incus, stapes. Okay, together they are known as ossicles. So the middle ear contains three small bony structures, three small bones which I have just named: malleus, incus, and stape. Okay, they are known as ossicles. What are they doing? They are basically acting as a means for transmitting sound waves from the eardrum to the middle ear. So the sound waves which are hitting the eardrum, they will move forward and they will travel through the malleus, through the incus and stapes, and then further on they will go. Okay, so the middle ear basically is the sound transmitting structures that are present in over here. Okay, then moving forward, Yes, you see over here there's some empty space over here. This is known as the tympanic cavity. This is known as what? Tympanic cavity. It is a narrow air-filled cavity which again separates the external ear by the tympanic membrane and from inner ear by the bony wall. So this is in the middle. So tympanic membrane separates the middle ear from the outer ear, and these bony structures will separate this middle ear from the inner ear. So this is the inner ear. This portion is the inner ear. Okay. Now in the inner ear, from the inner ear, there arises this tube known as eustachian tube. Okay, in its anterior wall, this eustachian tube basically is an auditory tube. Okay, this tube functions as a hearing tube. Okay, auditory tube from where the sound waves will further travel, and then you perceive the sound. You hear what the sound that is coming from the environment. Okay, this eustachian tube will help in what? Hearing. So how does it carries out its function? By equalizing the air pressure on either side of the tympanic membrane. So the sound waves is traveling from the ossicles to the semilunar canals and further on. Okay. Meanwhile, eustachian tube is doing what? It is maintaining equal air pressure on both the side of the ear. Okay, the outer and the middle ear, inner ear. Yes, and also one of the function of the eustachian tube is to connect this cavity, this empty air-filled cavity, to the nose. Okay, to the nasopharynx. Yes. So sometimes when you you can feel the connection between the nasopharynx and your ear. If you have any some medicines that can be that are put into the ear, some might sometimes you might feel the taste in your nasopharynx over here, also within your eyes also. Okay, so you have this tympanic cavity which is air filled, and it divides separates the outer ear and the inner ear with the help of the eardrum and these bony structures respectively. Eustachian tube is basically the auditory tube which equalizes the air pressure in the cavity for the transmission of the sound waves. Moving forward, the inner ear. Now, inner ear, moving forward, you have these semilunar canals, which is again some circular bony structures, and then you have the cochlea. Okay, they also help in what? Transmitting the sound waves further. Okay, so dissipating the vibration, the sound vibrations which have come from all along from the outer ear, middle ear, and then to these structures. Okay, so they will distribute the vibration, dissipate the vibration further on. This cochlea you see, just like the snail has the upper part of the body, which is a bony structure, a spiral shape. So it looks more or less like that only. So this is a several membranous section which is having fluid in it. This fluid is known as endolymph. Okay, so basically when the sound waves are traveling, so these sound waves, these vibrations will cause these fluid to move. Okay, and as and when the fluid is moving, you also have hair-like structures in this cochlea, which will produce vibration, which will produce sound signal, which will be then further carried out, transmitted to the nerves that you see over here, vestibular nerve and cochlear nerve. Yes, so the vibrations that are created with the help of the fluid and the hair-like structures in the cochlea, okay, which the sound that has come and it has traveled all along from the outer and the middle ear and reached the cochlea. So here the hair-like structures and the endolymph and the fluid over here will facilitate the vibration, and then the signal, sound signal, will be converted into the electrical signal. So this is helping the sound signal to convert into electrical nerve impulse, which is then further transmitted via the auditory nerve or these vestibular cochlear nerve to the brain. So from this nerve, it will then reach to your brain, and that is how the sound and the brain, the region of the brain which is responsible for auditory functions, it will carry out its function. Okay, so we will just do a recap of how the sound waves come from the ear, and then what is their course of transmission. So through the pinna to the external ear, the sound waves enter. This is the auditory canal, and the outer ear and the middle ear are divided by this tympanic membrane. Okay, once they enter over there, now they move into these ossicles, which are malleus, incis, and stapes. Now they move to this oval window over here. You can see the arrow over here. This is basically the whole cochlea. You see over here, uh, inside the cochlea, there will be fluid and hair-like structures which will create vibrations of these sound waves that are coming in, and it will convert the sound waves into electrical nerve impulses, and then it will transfer it to the nerve, vestibular cochlear nerve or the auditory nerve, which will take the information to the brain for the information to be processed, and then that is how you hear, understand what you hear. Okay, so that was all about the ear. Only this much you need to know. Okay, we'll just quickly go through this. The pinna, you need to know what is the three regions of the ear. The tympanic membrane, the ossicle, what is the function of the ossicle, what is the tympanic membrane or the eardrum doing? It is separating the outer and the middle ear. Then the tympanic cavity and the eustachian tube, what are they and their function? Okay, and finally, the inner ear having all the structures cochlea, which is filled with fluid and hair-like structures, which will help it converting the sound information, the sound waves, sound stimulus into electrical impulses, which will further be carried out as the electrical impulse by the vestibular cochlear nerve or the auditory nerve to the brain. Okay, that's all for this video. In the next video, we will be talking about the next part of the chapter. So the next part talks about the endocrinology, all about hormones. So in the very first video of the next part of the chapter, we will talk about the mechanism of hormone action. So thank you. Take care. Keep revising. If you have any doubts, you can reach out to me.